Welcome to 411 Stories of Connection. These are the goosebump stories that let us know our loved ones across the veil are still right here.
We know how important these stories are because after we lost our daughter to cancer in 2018, we just needed to know that she still existed.
We hope that these stories find you when you needed to hear them the most.
Thanks for being here.
All right, this is one of the coolest things that my daughter in heaven has done since she passed away. She sends us really amazing signs all the time, but I have no idea how she did this, and I just think it's the neatest thing. So I'm on the phone with someone, I'm texting about her. This was a little less than a year after she passed. So I was going through a really dark time, and I'm texting with a friend back and forth. It's probably midnight. I remember it was really dark in the room. All of a sudden my phone lights up and there's a photograph on my phone. I thought my friend had sent me something, but it wasn't. It was just showing a photograph that is now forever on my phone. And it was Kenadie from 7 years earlier. And it's a photograph that I've seen before, but it wasn't on my phone. It wasn't like, it'd never been on my phone before. And it was from when she was like 3 years old. And the cool thing is that it has the date from when the photograph was taken, and it says that it was taken in 2036. So now this picture is on my phone. It's the first photograph that I get to see because it hasn't happened yet. And I just think that's so cool. And I don't know how she did it, but I'll share it here because it was just the coolest thing. And I love that she did that for me. My mom gave me permission to share this next story because it's hers. And it happened right when her dad, my grandpa, passed away. This one leaves me speechless and gives me the full body goosebumps. So this is the story. He passed away in the hospital, and right when she left and went out to her car, she started her car and a song was playing on the radio. What's so weird about that is that she didn't listen to music in her car anymore. She didn't even have stations programmed into her car. She just listened to audiobooks. And back then she had an 8-disc player. So she would buy the audiobooks on CDs. She would put in all, up to 8 CDs at a time. And every time she started her car, it would just go back to the part of the book that she was listening to. So it was weird that there was a song playing, and it was Carrie Underwood's song called Temporary Home. The exact spot that the song was playing says, "Old man, hospital bed. The room is filled with people he loves. And he whispers, 'Don't cry for me. I'll see you all someday.' He looks up and says, 'I can see God's face. This is my temporary home. It's not where I belong. Windows and room that I'm passing through. This was just a stop on the way to where I'm going. I'm not afraid because I know this was my temporary home.'" Right when the song stops, everything stops and it turns to static. She was messing with the dials. She couldn't get another song to come on, couldn't find another station. It was the weirdest thing. So she turned off her car, she turned it back on, and her audiobook was playing. It's I wouldn't ever want to deny that. I just would accept that fully if that was me that had that experience. And I would know that my dad wanted me to know that he was still with me and that he's okay and that this is just temporary, but our souls go on forever. I hope that this found you at a time that you needed to be reminded of that. Our daughter Kenadie passed away in 2018 from a brain tumor, and we didn't know if she still existed or if our loved ones just go away when they pass away. We really didn't know what we believed in. We knew that we wanted to reconnect with her. We wanted to get some answers. So we reached out to a medium that I had met before and trusted. She said that she would do a reading for us in a few months. So we waited impatiently for that time to come. And the night before the reading happened, my husband, who had been working on a house that we were building, had gone back to the house for the first time since Kenadie had passed and was working on the house and stayed there till after midnight working on things. When he came back, he said, "I just felt her presence there the whole time." So then the next day, the reading's happening. It's just over the phone. The woman lives in another state. My husband's in a different room. It was just the medium and I. She says, "I feel like your husband was at a house last night and he was there till after midnight. I see him working on a back deck under canned lights." That was all true. And she said, "And I'm seeing Kenadie, and she's standing in front of this fireplace with the rock all around this fireplace." And she says that it's really beautiful. She loves how it turned out. What the medium didn't know is that that's the last thing that Kenadie participated with us for. She helped us pick out the rock for the fireplace, but then she never got to see it completed. So that was pretty cool. And then right after that, she said, now she's taking me into the garage. What's so important about the garage? I said, nothing, it's just a garage. She said, but she keeps taking me in there. And then she said, I can't get more out of her. I don't know what that's about. I said, okay, sorry, She said, now she's showing me a hummingbird feeder. She goes, maybe she wants you guys to put hummingbird feeders around the house. I said, okay. During the reading that went on for like an hour, she kept taking her back into the garage. She said, now I'm back in the garage again. Now I'm seeing hummingbird feeders again. And it kind of went on and on like that. So now the reading's done and my husband comes into the room and he's like, okay, tell me everything that she said. So I tell him about the fireplace and I tell him about seeing him on the back deck under the can lights. And then I said, and for some reason, Kenadie kept taking the medium into the garage. And his face lit up and he said, I forgot to tell you, yesterday I went into the garage to get tools. I heard a noise and I turned around and there was a hummingbird in the garage and it was right in front of my face. And I was staring at the hummingbird and it was staring at me for the longest time. And then I said, hi, honey. And then the hummingbird finally flew out of the garage. I hadn't even gotten to the part about the hummingbird feeder yet. He didn't know about that. We both started crying and we just knew in that moment that she's still with us and that our loved ones continue on forever and that their souls continue and they're not gone when they pass away. It led us to figuring out how to reconnect with her because if she still existed out there somewhere, there had to be a way for us to find her. This was the start of it. I'm just putting it out there in case it's helping anybody else that's in the same shoes as us that's questioning if their loved ones are still with them. I hope this gives you some hope that you'll reconnect with yours as well. This one is such a fun story that proves that our loved ones in heaven are still with us. Susie sent me the story about her dad and her daughter. So her dad passed away and the daughter came home from college for the service. Just a little backstory here. The daughter was raised in a home with her mom and both of her grandparents. So even when she was a baby, the grandfather was the only one that could soothe her when she was colicky. And I have the sweetest pictures of them when he's snuggling her when she was a baby and then when they're hugging before she took off for college the year before the grandfather passed. So he's very close with his grandkids. Anyways, after the service, the granddaughter went back to her mom's house and went to her room and was asleep. And the mom was still kind of in a state of shock, I'm sure, from just going to her father's service. And when she ordered dinner that night from a restaurant, she forgot to order her daughter's dinner because her daughter was in her bedroom asleep. So anyways, the food arrives and there is her daughter's favorite order, which was beefsteak. And she thought, how did that get on here? I never placed that order. She looked on the ticket on the bag and there is her order in different ink, different handwriting, and then it's crossed off like it was a mistake or something. But the order was still in the bag. And the funny part of this is when the grandparents were both living in the house with the granddaughter would always sneak over to their section of the house that had their own kitchenette and would be like, do you have any beefsteak left? Because it was her favorite and she just wanted to eat more beefsteak. So we love this story so much. And we have no doubt that the grandfather was making sure that his granddaughter received her favorite beefsteak. I heard this story a few days ago. I can't get it out of my mind. It gives me full body goosebumps. So stick around till the end. It's totally worth it. This woman lost her dad in 2021 and they found him 2 days before her birthday. A few weeks later, she has a visitation dream where she sees her dad in his normal Carhartt t-shirt, Carhartt jeans. He looks like her dad. And he's floating in a cloud. He's happy. He says, I'm okay. I'm no longer in pain. And then he disappears. So now fast forward to the next year. So now we're coming up, it's a month before her birthday, a month before his death anniversary. And she has another dream, and now he is working on a fence on her property, and she notices that as they're having this conversation, there's a barred owl in a tree branch up above them, and she really felt the presence of this owl during the dream. Fast forward one more time, now it's her birthday, a year after his passing, so it would be 2 days after the anniversary of his passing. She has to go to work. I'm sure she's having a tough time, and she's dealing with this patient at work that she is not jiving with. And she's frustrated with how the interaction's going, and she's frustrated with the patient, and it's just not going well. When all of a sudden he asks her if she's really into birds. She's like, where is this going? She was like, they're okay. It's like, I'm not particularly into birds. And he says, I have something that I want to give you. And I bet you know where this is going. He reaches into his bag and he pulls out a photograph and he gives it to her, and it's this. A barred owl sitting on a tree branch, just like the one that she saw in her dream. She knew in that moment that that was her dad, sending her a message that he was with her on her birthday and he loves her. And it was just such a beautiful moment of connection, and I'm so glad she shared it with us.